If you're trying to live a healthier life and make the transition into eating healthier food but find it expensive and out of your budget, watch this video. I'm going to share 4 tips on how to live healthy on a budget. Hey guys, it's Mona, and I am super excited about today's video because I really think it will help a lot of you who find healthy eating to be unattainable or too expensive. I really think this is just a myth, and I'm kind of excited to bust this myth because it really can be simple, and I actually believe that the healthiest life is one that's a little more simple. Going to the basics, just eating really simple, clean foods. Doesn't have to be like these really exotic, like unique snacks that are like $20 a package. While those are great and fun, there are definitely easier ways to do it. So I'm going to be sharing 4 tips on this. One of them will include Thrive Market, which I've been talking about for a few years now because it's just so perfect for this video. Honestly, they carry so many of the same brands that like every other health food store carries, but up to 50% off. You can literally find, favorite snacks. You can even find like clean household items if you really want to get into like living a full healthy life. And what I love is that you can filter snacks. So when you're searching, you can like search by vegan, gluten-free, paleo, organic, non-GMO. Like you can totally filter your categories. So it's really helpful. If you guys do want to use Thrive, there are a couple membership options. You can do 1 month for $9.99 or just do the 1 year for $5 a month, which I find to be the most useful. If you guys do want to try Thrive Market, I will put my link in description. You can get $20 off your first order. Okay, so for tip number 1, let's just get into Thrive Market since I was just talking about it. And my suggestion is to buy products from Thrive Market. I actually have a shipment here. Pardon me bending down on this camera, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like when you get a delivery from Thrive. This is the box that it comes in. They are very eco-friendly. So they carry a lot of the same brands, literally the same brand, but cheaper. So I just find this to be such an easy, no-brainer. If you're gonna get the same brand, it's still organic, it's still really clean and healthy, you might as well just get it a little bit cheaper. So I just wanted to share a few brands that you can get on Thrive Market as examples of the same exact brand that you can get for less. For example, this one is Ceylon Cinnamon, which is a really great high-quality cinnamon. Simply Organic is the brand. You can literally get it for $2.40 less on Thrive Market than you can get it at a health food store, which is pretty substantial because that's almost like 50% off. I don't know exactly how much all spices cost. You can look this up, but I think that's pretty great, especially when you're really trying to take into account every little thing that you're spending money on. Another great example is Green Lentils. So this is a brand, True Roots, that I really like specifically because they're sprouted. Like it doesn't get much more high quality than this. They're organic, they're pre-sprouted. And for anyone who doesn't know, sprouting is when it's almost like soaking them for a day or two so that you make them more easily digestible. It can take a little bit of time. Sometimes you want to cook something right away. So a brand that pre-sprouts them I think is amazing, but can get a little pricey. And this one you can get for $1.56 less on Thrive. One more brand I just wanted to give an example of is this Tink Yada, which I'm probably pronouncing incorrectly, but it's brown rice pasta. And this brand I didn't really know of. I actually discovered it on Thrive. But what I like is that the ingredients are completely simple: brown rice and water. So a lot of times when you see pasta alternatives, even though it says something on the label, there still might be other fillers and things. And listen, if you want to go clean, this is super clean. Like you're literally just eating brown rice and water. It's a gluten-free alternative, and you can get this for 70 cents less on Thrive Market. So those are just a few examples. I won't go into the entire website, but you can just take a little bit of time and kind of peruse and explore and figure it out. Honestly, eating healthy in general, the more you invest in it, the more you learn, the more you educate yourself, the more successful you're going to be. When it gets overwhelming is when you just read one headline and then do that, and then read another headline, and then one influencer says this and one YouTuber says this, and you don't really know what's actually working. That's when eating healthy can get overwhelming. And I feel like I'll hear a lot of people say, one day I'm supposed to eat this, and then this is bad for you, and now it's lectin. So do your own research and educate, and literally keep it simple. The more simple your foods, the better. These are perfect examples of brands that just have the food in it and no other additives. So these are all in Thrive Market. I'm gonna put this box on the floor for the rest of the video because it's awkward on my lap, but that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to buy food as their whole natural state versus pre-made snacks and meals. So for example, a lot of times you'll see like a rice that's pre-packaged with seasoning or different things, almost making it like throw it in the microwave and it's ready to go. This just adds a lot of unhealthy like sugars, salts, preservatives, so many different things in it that you don't know what you're eating. I mean, if you look on the back on a lot of those, you'll see that there's just a lot of different foreign ingredients. It's so much better to just buy food as it comes and then be in control of the flavoring. This is healthier and it's also going to save you money. So for example, just a simple bag of brown rice. You don't need to buy like the flavor, like they've got like the yummy Spanish flavors and different things, which I know taste good. Just buy it yourself. You've got all of your seasonings. You can kind of learn what you want to add into it. You can add different herbs and just make it your own. A few others that I have, I already just showed you the green lentil example. I mean, this is good for so many different things. You can literally take these and boil them and have them for 3 or 4 days. You can eat it warm, you can eat it cold with a salad, you could make a lentil soup. You know, there's just a million different things you could do with it. Kind of get creative and learn, but the whole point is to not buy packaged things and to buy them whole. Quinoa, I literally eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I will link my quinoa breakfast below this video. That's like probably the oldest blog I have on my website. It's so yummy and so easy. It's a high protein grain. Again, I like this brand because it's pre-sprouted, so it's really easy to make. But, you know, especially ordering out, if you get like a quinoa salad or something, you're probably paying like anywhere from $10 to $15. This is super inexpensive and you can just have it in your home. And it also makes for a really good base. You know, sometimes when you're trying to eat healthy and like vegetables aren't just filling enough, adding in something like quinoa will make you full. It has fiber, it has protein, and it just can make a simple, even like side dish, go to an actual meal. Another example is when you buy oats. I know this is such a common breakfast. It's so easy. It's just, you don't really have to think about it. Buy in bulk versus the individual packs. So anytime something is more convenient, you're going to pay for that. You're paying for the convenience. But if we're trying to save money and the number one goal is health, you've got to just put in a little bit of extra time. If you like that convenience of them already pre-packaged, literally get some little sandwich bags and pre-measure them and put them in your cabinet. You know, you can get reusable ones. You can put them in Tupperware so we can still be green and environmental. But just get creative and think of ways so that it's super easy for you to eat healthy and you have less things to do and less things to think about. But at the same time, buying in bulk and making it just less expensive. I also have red lentils here, just another example. I mean, there's a few different kinds of lentils. There's green, there's brown, there's red. I was honestly shopping for myself for the week while doing this, so I just figured I would also share what I have in here. But I also want to bring up a point on lentils or beans with canned versus dry. If you're trying to get healthy, I would highly, highly recommend avoiding canned food and just sticking to everything dry. Just think to yourself, how does this food come naturally on earth? Does it come from a can or does it come dried? So think about it that way when you don't know what the right choice is. Buying things canned, they often have to add a lot of sodium, a lot of different preservatives. It's sitting on the shelf for months. There's just something that's not natural about that. Like, food shouldn't last that long. And look, once in a while, if it's like an emergency meal, that's fine. But I don't keep anything canned in my house personally. Also, you end up saving money when you buy it dried, which is interesting because you're getting the healthier food and you are saving money. I think a can of beans or lentils is anywhere from like 3.5 servings usually on average, and this is at least like 7 servings, so pretty much half off because they're usually around the same price depending on where you buy it. So just try to go for dried. If you are always in a rush, just plan it out the night before. If you want to eat healthy and you want to make that shift into eating healthier, a little bit of planning and organizing is also important. Just think of what you're going to eat for dinner the next day. You could even soak dried beans overnight and they will cook so much faster. Actually, you're basically sprouting them, so even if you don't have them sprouted, they'll be easier to digest, and it's just a really easy trick. So I would recommend that as well. And here's just a little bonus. This is just another one that I had in my grocery cart, but when you're looking for pastas or, you know, any kind of grain, always just look at the back and try to keep the ingredients simple. I know that I'm like a broken record in saying this, but it's really hard when you look on the front and you think, especially when they're smart. There's like fonts and colors that can make something look really healthy and like keywords, but sometimes you see a lot of added things. I really like this brand Tolerant. The only ingredient is organic red lentil flour. I love seeing that. I love seeing minimal ingredients in the back. That's like one of the biggest things when it comes to eating healthy. And if you've noticed a theme in this video, we have not talked about calories, about like how much to eat, serving size. It's all about the quality of the food, because honestly, everyone's different. Your goals are going to be completely different than mine or your friends. So I don't like to suggest a specific amount of food. I just really want to share the type of food that I would recommend when it comes to eating healthy. One other great tip is protein powder. I know protein powders can get really expensive, especially if you're eating a vegan or vegetarian diet and you really want to supplement with some kind of protein. Buying it plain and simple is just so much easier. I actually prefer it, to be honest, because I think they get too fancy in protein powder and they add so many different things. And when you're eating too many like different blends of superfoods, that can be a lot for your gut to digest. And I think that people get too complicated with wellness. Sometimes that can lead to more issues. So one of my favorite brands is just a simple pea protein. It has nothing else in it. Now, it doesn't taste good. It tastes like powder. So you have to flavor it yourself. But this is also where you can take advantage of being healthier. You're not using any of their nasty natural flavors, which we, can include so many things that we don't know of. You can add your own sweeteners. One sweetener that I personally really love is monk fruit. I like a little bit of stevia. You could add cinnamon, and these are things that you'll already have in your cabinet and you can use to sweeten everything, whether it's your oatmeal, whether it's your protein powder. But I always find when I add in the frozen banana or a little bit of nut butter, it doesn't really matter anyway when it comes to flavor. Tip number 3 is super simple, and this is just to eat fruits and veggies that are in season. So if you think about it, if something is in season, that means it's grown more rapidly, whether different farmers have it, different grocery stores have it, so it's more abundant. So there's literally more supply, meaning it's going to be less expensive because there's a lot they want to get off the shelves. If you're trying to get certain fruits and veggies that aren't in season, especially in a colder climate like New York, where it has to get shipped in, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because they have to also, cater to what they're paying to get this to you. So number 1, it's less expensive to just eat fruits and veggies in season. Number 2, it's actually healthier. So this one is twofold. It ends up being healthier because the more you eat food the way it's intended and when it's supposed to grow, the better it's going to be. So when a food grows when it's naturally supposed to, you can actually look at the soil and see that it's healthier, which impacts the micronutrients that the food has. So this is going a little bit deep and not talked about a lot. I actually love Dr. Mark Hyman for talking about this because he's really passionate on this topic. I would highly recommend looking that up if you're interested, but he discusses a lot about how important soil is for the food that we're eating and how sometimes even when you're buying something organic, if it's not grown in the right conditions, you're really not getting the same food that we used to years ago before there was so much manipulation. And even energetically speaking, certain foods are supposed to grow at certain climates, certain times of the year. That's just how the Earth's ecosystem is, and they're actually meant for us during different times. Like during the winter when it's colder, we have like vegetables and fruits that are better for that season. So there's different ways you can look at it and, research a little bit more if one of these topics interests you. But overall, eating fruits and veggies in season will cost you less money and it will be healthier for you. Tip number 4 is about eating organic, and I'm sure you guys have heard of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, so I just wanted to reiterate this point and share a little on this topic because eating organic is really important sometimes, but also can get really pricey. So I just want to give my tips on this and how to really make this the most cost effective. I would really use the source EWG. They're such an amazing resource. They're so valid, and they actually update this list every year. So basically the Clean 15 is a list of produce items that you can get that are not organic, meaning it's the safest food to get unorganic because the pesticides maybe don't penetrate as much when they're sprayed. So a lot of times foods in the Clean 15 have a harder exterior. So you could get like honeydew, cantaloupe, avocado, pineapple. The pineapple you're taking off the peel. So the thought process a lot of times that the pesticides don't get into the food as much. Then you've got the Dirty Dozen, which is food that you should always eat organic. And that's, things like berries, apples, pears, all pop up the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 here. Another tip is that you could buy fruit that's organic but frozen. This is always going to be less expensive than fresh. And a lot of people have asked me, is it still healthy? Are you still getting the benefits? You definitely are. It's still really good for you. You're still getting the antioxidants. I actually sometimes love subbing these in for smoothies because it makes it really cold and fresh. I have this one smoothie in my new ebook that's coming out that's like a beet and strawberry and cilantro smoothie, but I recommend frozen strawberries in it because it just ends up making it taste more fresh. So you've also got that option, which is really great. And, you know, also just kind of gauge it. If you're at the grocery store and you see organic versus non-organic and it's like a 20 cent or 30 cent difference, I think it's worth it. I always remember at Trader Joe's when I would shop in college, organic bananas were 29 cents and non-organic were 19 cents. And I was like, okay, that's worth the 10 cents. So kind of like see how it goes there with your, use your judgment when you're shopping. So one more thing I just wanted to add as a little fun bonus in this video is making your own snacks or desserts is so much healthier and also so much less expensive than buying them out. I'm just gonna read you this really, really easy cookie recipe that's so perfect when you are just craving something sweet and have nothing in the cabinet. This is when it'd be convenient to like have a package of cookies, or especially when you wanna go healthy and you get like a really like healthy organic package of cookies. Those can get really expensive. So this is gonna save you a lot of money. It's literally the easiest recipe ever. It's vegan, it's organic, it's gluten-free, and it takes like 15 minutes from start to finish. So here's the recipe. It's 2 cups of oats, which comes to $1.68, 1 banana, which comes to 58 cents, 1/2 cup of organic almond butter, which is $11.32, and 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, which is $1.13. This makes 20 cookies, which ends up being 74 cents per cookie versus a cookie at a bakery that's like anywhere from $1.50 to $2. So you're basically getting a cookie for half off. And when you add this up, let's say you're feeding a family of 4, or maybe you have guests over, that's how you have to think about this. You might think, okay, for $1, what does that matter? But these things add up every day. And honestly, this cookie is so healthy. If you cut down the chocolate chips a little bit, you could eat this like every day for breakfast. If you deconstruct the ingredients, it's literally just like oats and banana and nut butter. So that's just a fun little example to show you. Oats and nut butter will be your best friend, or oats and banana even, not even nut butter, just as your base for a sweet. And it's just so much better than buying something out and so much healthier for you. So I hope this video was helpful. These are really great practical examples of how you can live a healthier life. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. There was nothing too exotic or crazy, no superfood powders in here. This is truly the base of getting healthy. It's not about all the fancy stuff. It's really like the base of what you're eating day in and day out. So I will link all products to all the food I discussed below in the description. I'll also give you guys my link for Thrive Market. And remember, if you use my link, you can get $20 off your first order. And if you do decide to sign up for Thrive Market, you can do the 1-month or 12-month membership, which comes to either $9.99 or $5 a month. Thanks, guys. Please leave any questions in the comments. Let me know if you like this style video, and I'll see you next time.